We're not really concerned with the battle cry of the others. Because that's the difference between battle cries and tried and tested plans and programs that will benefit the majority of our constituents. And then, unity and healing. Admittedly, the problems of this country are economic in nature. Lahat naman yung poverty alleviation, homes, no, food, clothing, shelter, education, health services, that has to be driven by a sound economy. Ang kailangan mo dyan, pera. Diba? Ipangutang natin yan. No? So, we need to be very, very predictable.
Sir, regarding the lineup of Una, kailan po makukompleto kaya and who are these possible senatorial bets?
Unang-una, meron na kami pinagpipilian. At iniiyak ko sa inyo, hanggang sa huling araw ng ating kapay sa Pilipinas natin, we will avail that.
Is it possible to know kung sino po kaya yung mga possible na pinagpipilian? Mga bago ba to or
Hindi pa nawawala yung takot na ito, agam-agam. Basta cheche-chepe na lang yung mga kandidat na pag-ulit.
pero kumpleto po kaya? Or are you go?
Sir, if I may add, ang batayan ng senatorial lineup ng una, it's not enough that you are sikat. Yeah, you are good looking. You must stand for something and add to the value of what this elections is all about. No? To elect the most powerful, if not one of the most powerful presidencies among the remaining presidential democracies. So the vice presidential candidate, the senatorial lineup, must add value to that objective. So we are looking for credible people. Of course, yung tingin ng iba di ba? Kuminsan, mamaliitin But there is a process to select this. It is not up to the vice president, it is up to the selection committee. By the way, of course, the criteria is they must support and subscribe and articulate during the campaign period the platforms and programs of the UNA.
Sir, how difficult of an uphill climb do you think the campaign is or the election is going to be, considering, sir, na ang kalaban niyo yung administrasyon na pupos ang ano talaga?
It will be uphill, definitely, because from what we have experienced, normally campaigns, especially if the administration is waging it, is resource-driven and of course personality-driven. Which brings me to a point. The UNA does not anoint our candidates. We select them. We nominate them. Ang pagkaintindi ko, yung ina-anoint, yung binabasbasan tuwing binyag at tuwing ikakasal ka, at di ba may hari na binabasbasan yung prinsipe para susunod. We are a democracy. We're trying to educate our people about platforms and programs beyond personalities.
Please, sir, in your own way, how do you plan to fight the resource-driven campaign of UNA?
Go direct to the people. Many people think that this is going to be won by a media war. You cannot reinvent yourself during the campaign period. You have to stand for something. In fact, I was going to say, I hope we do not ruffle any sensitivities. No? Let the pictures speak for themselves. The news, you have printed this, you have articulated this. And I will stop there para hindi na magka-personalan.
Lastly, sir, why should the public vote for you?
Like pardon?
Why should the public vote for you?
Because we have the experience and the capability, no, to implement our programs, whatever it takes. And as I said, our dream, just like the dream of our OFWs, teachers, policemen, soldiers, everybody in almost all sectors, is to go home to a country that is safe, strong, and truly free. Anybody who gets in the way, no matter how high you are, especially if you are a criminal element, we have the track record to operationalize that, to implement it. Lastly, can you imagine how Providence has worked in the case of the Vice President and myself? During the time of the mother of the President, former President Cory Aquino, then Vice Mayor Binay, and then Colonel Gringo Honasan, we're looking for each other. We're hunting each other now. Now we have found each other.
Sir,
Dahil sa pagkakaibigan ng leadership style.
Hindi, doon nga kami nagkasama eh. Kung sasariwain namin palagi, if we cannot get past our experience, we're fighting each other for principle. Then Mayor Binay was fighting as an elected official under the administration of President Cory Aquino. I was fighting for a cause with the reform movement. Pero we were fighting for the same principle, which that issue cuts across the ideological, political, and social, and even religious landscape, di ba? Like, tingnan mo, sinasabi ng mga rebelde, no? Pinaglalaban nila, mahirap, yung naapi, yung mga biktima ng kawalan ng justisya. Ganon din ang sinasabi ng mga sundalo natin on the field. Ganon din ang sinasabi ng gobyerno. Ang hindi ko maintindihan, ba't sila naglalaban? At the expense of the very same people, innocent civilians, children, women, displacement, destruction to lives and property that we are supposed to protect. Article 3, a responsible government protects life, liberty, and property. Why do we always fight each other at the expense of basic rights, Bill of Rights?
Sir,
That I cannot understand.
Sir,
That is what we intend to correct.
basically you're saying you were fighting for the same cause except you're on different sides lang po.
Yes. Di ba sabi nila, your adversaries define you. Whether it's, I will not mention names in previous administrations. Your adversaries define you. That's why you honor your adversaries. I will go back to what I said. No? Our problems are basically economic in nature. But the first step should be political. Let's give everybody due process. Let's bury not only physically, like, okay, I'll say it na. Let's decide once and for all to bury President Marcos. If we cannot decide on something as procedural as that, how can we address this threat to our national sovereignty and integrity? How can we deal with the peace process if we cannot agree, to resolve once and for all something as procedural as that? Bury once and for all this culture of anger, hatred, and vindictiveness. Give everybody due process.
Sir, sorry, you are in favor of burying President Marcos?
No, I'm saying let's resolve that issue. Baka pakialaman na naman ang editor ninyo yun. Nagkalintikan na naman kami ni Vice President.
Sir, kapag
Are you
po,
open? Are you open? Are you open?
Ah yes, if we promote what constitutes our national interest, which is political unity, social cohesion, which will lead to economic prosperity. Hindi mo na ngayon pwedeng ihiwalay yung foreign policy, economic policy, security policy. Magkakahalo na ito. How do you modernize your army and your police if you do not have the economy to back it up?
Sir, saan? Where do you prefer that former President Marcos be buried? You have a stand?
Tatanungin ko yung administrator ng libingan ng mga bayani. What qualifies without mentioning names, what qualifies somebody to be buried? But I will ask him first, are you running for any public office? Baka makakulayan na naman yun. See? What disqualifies? Diba? And then you mention the name. The procedural, kung hindi pakialaman yung procedural decision na yun, sa tingin ko, do you remember the Vice President himself
Yes.
being asked,
To
what
do a
was the
study.
recommendation? What happened to that recommendation? By the way, without mentioning names again, the perception of some is this coming elections is just a continuation of the proxy wars at national level and local level among certain political families. And anybody who gets caught in the crossfire will be hurt. I think we should stop inflicting that on the Filipino people and electorate. Kaya ang plataforma po namin, the Vice President, is healing and unifying para we can move forward. Matagal niyo akong hinanap-hanap, hindi ako nagpapakita. Ngayon nahanap niyo ko, you have to bear with me.
Yes.
sir, kapag po nanalo kayong dalawa, kasi sabi nila kayo na take your stand on issues. Kapag po meron kayong hindi pagkakaunawaan sa isang issue, are you ready to take your stand against if ever you become both
Okay,
president?
because of how things have developed, because of trial by publicity, di ba? conviction by publicity, what happened to our courts? I'll give you the extreme example. If any of us are tried through due process, the rule of law, as candidates or as elected officials, and the verdict is not favorable to us personally, we are duty-bound to uphold that decision. We are not bound by trial by publicity. Ang problema is, yun nga, the courts have been rendered irrelevant, which makes the judiciary the last bastion of our democracy. Kung may problema tayo doon, saan tatakbo? If they can do that to public officials,